Hello and welcome to the stream. This is Katie with Atelier Nikuzuki. Sorry that it took a little bit longer to get on than anticipated. Streamlabs was like completely refusing to actually load. So I made sure that I went in and did the update and also and then restarted the stream thing or restart the laptop so that we would actually be able to have a stream tonight, hopefully. So here I am. We are going to be working on getting leather and drawstring channels clipped into the bags and then get the interiors clipped on as well. And if all goes well, we will actually be sewing these together tonight as well. So let's get into it. I said, well, if all goes well, we'll be sewing them in, but I don't think that's actually going to happen. I am just hit my wall for the night. Everything's just been taking longer the last couple days. It's just like really like one of the few times where I actually need to push and you're going to be, whatever. Anyways, so what we're doing is last night we went through and we did get all of the leather straps cut, and we also got the we got the branding done on the leather, and then we cut the majority of them. Then I finished cutting them today. The kiddos were home today, and we had gymnastics for the youngest, so that took up a good chunk of our day. And then, yeah, wow, my eldest was drawing on my youngest and making them a tiger, so that's how that went for actually getting stuff done around the studio today. But I cooked dinner, so I count that as a success as well. And I did get all my exercise numbers in and yoga done. So, there's other metrics for success today. But since the pop-up is on Saturday, I would like to be getting these bags done now. Actually, I would have liked to have been getting these bags done this afternoon, but honestly, it's probably better that I didn't have my sewing machine running too much around the little ones. My youngest in particular loves to come and stick their fingers in the belts that are exposed under the machine. It's just like, oh, of course. So, right now we are going to be working through getting all of these clipped together. There we go. Yeah, getting these clipped together and ready to sew. And then if it goes well, we will actually be sewing these tonight as well. So basically what I'm doing is I'm clipping the leather handle in along with the drawstring channels. And then we'll go in and clip in, basically take this exterior, fold it up, and we're going to put it in the interior and pop it down. Now I know that I said that I want to be getting these actually glued tonight. That's not going to happen. It's much easier to glue them once this step is done. So the hope is now that I will get these sewn tonight so that I can get them glued first thing in the morning, and then they can chill till the afternoon, and then we can turn them, and they can chill till the afternoon, and then we can get them top stitched and get their drawstrings in tomorrow evening. Tomorrow afternoon I have to actually run into the city and basically do setup for the event on Saturday. So really we are very much down to the wire right now. By the way, it was brought to my attention that there has been some misinformation regarding the pick your own orders for the Boxing Week sale. If you ordered a pick your own, the intended production time on those was supposed to be 8 to 10 weeks. But what it was brought to my attention was that the ones that were posted were 6 to 8 weeks, which was incorrect. And then on top of it, most of them didn't even have that information available on their listing. because of a setting that I had set in the back end that meant that that was not in the description. So if you have been waiting for a bag, just a heads up that they'll be going, I'll be starting on those all next week after this pop-up. Basically on Monday I'll finish tidying up the cutting room because I need to be able to actually cut the bags. That's usually super helpful. And then I'll be sitting down and actually sewing them after that. And that will be an excellent opportunity to actually go ahead and cut a lot of these fabrics and start processing them in general for other products. And then we'll intersperse that with the working through the scraps and stuff this year too. So, all right. So one of the things I do is you have to actually measure your leather out from a certain point. So basically, I just clip my ruler with a clip here, and then measure it out, so I don't have to mess around with holding the ruler at the same time as like trying to get this handle into the bag as well. Just realized it might be more helpful to actually have my phone kind of behind me, so maybe we'll move that around after this one gets clipped in. All right, and that's a little bit high, so we're going to clip that a little bit down. That should be good. I'm going to come in with the drawstring channel, and this drawstring channel does not match this bag, but it does match the pockets on the interior and kind of the overall color scheme of the bag. So this fabric is actually Indonesian batik. It would have been scraps or leftover cuts from actually making pockets for the Luxe tote bags last, like 2 summers ago, basically 2022 at this point. So I finished the Widow of Rose Hill today. It's not something I would necessarily recommend, but if you're looking for a fluffy like read or listen, it's fine. I would recommend getting it through one of your unlimited services or from your library, also an unlimited source. Yeah, nothing to write home about, nothing to really like complain about. It's a little bit of a ghost story. If you are super not into ghosts, do not consume it, but honestly it's not like really a horror book or anything like that. And maybe like a trigger warning probably should be on it for domestic violence as well, if that is a topic that you are uncomfortable with reading. Now I'm listening to This Savage Song by V.E. Schwab, who is like one of my favorite authors right now. Although they haven't produced a lot of work. Well, they have actually, but thankfully I haven't read most of their stuff, so I'm still catching up, which is the best place to be with them right now, because yeah, I think they have a new series coming out right now, and so I'm excited to read that. But they kind of straddle, I would put it as like adult and new adult, or young adult and new adult, I think is probably the best description for them as an author. So I really appreciate that as well. Like the Savage Song is very fully YA, but I would put the what is the other series I'm reading of theirs right now? Like the Threads of Power, I think is the series name. Anyway, I would put that as like new adult. I don't know why the distinction, but it does feel like there's a line there that it crosses. So Okay, so you might see this like buckling a little bit, and in this case what we're going to do with this bag to try and avoid that when I'm actually sewing it is we will go in and flip it to the outside. And it's amazing just how turning it one way or the other can move those buckles around. So basically now that it's clipped, yes, all the clips will be back like upside down now, whatever. They'll still pull off the fabric easily. Now I'll flip it, and then when I'm sewing it, basically what it does is it keeps the exterior under tension a little bit better, I think. And then any wrinkles that happen more on the interior. Obviously we don't want wrinkles, but sometimes they still do happen. But this will be easier to manage that on, and they'll be less visible on the interior than they are on the exterior as well. Okay. Still looks baggy and gross right now, but don't worry, it'll all work out here very, 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 very soon. All right, let's move this. Man, now my settings is telling me that there's another update. I just updated. What the heck is going on? Okay, I'm gonna move you to intermission here. Hi. I'm now a very large face on your screen for a moment. But what I'm thinking is that we should bring the camera back here, and then you can actually watch what I'm doing from behind my shoulder instead of like at that angle, because that hopefully is a little bit more interesting. Okay. We're going to move this up, however, over my shoulder quite a bit more. And then I think we'll flatten out the base there. And I think this can actually go up a bit. Nope, that's as tall as it goes. Okay, sweet. Not like you're looking at my face cam that much anyway, probably. And then let's just check this on studio mode. I'm going to be whispering sweet nothings into my ear because I can hear myself there. And we'll change the zoom level. Might be able to go straight back to back camera. Yeah, that looks good. Actually, I can't tell the difference between the black back dual and the back, like, seriously, is there no difference? Oh right, it was like, oh, maybe the telephoto. No, you're not gonna be able to see shit with that. Okay, we'll go to back camera because I think that's probably going to be the best view. And we'll shuffle the laptop a little bit out and put my face cam over top of it. No, it's not my face cam. Hello, technology. All right. And we're still broadcasting to YouTube. That's good. Alrighty. So this is the pile of the stuff. The one good thing about actually cutting the straps last night is I also found my roll of actual black drawstring cord, so that's good. So now I've got the like almost black brown and the proper black, so that's good. So quite pleased to see it. So there we go. I don't have to worry about that. And then we're going to move this out of the way, and now we've got a nice space to work on. This looks like an Alice bag, and it is. Good thing is I do have the majority of the day tomorrow because kiddos are in care. I told Caroline I wouldn't be back down to the studio to set up until after lunch. And it's not like it's like an intense setup either. It's given that it is a small pop-up. It's not like I'm going in and saying 20 feet up or anything like that, so that'll be good. I need to clear out the back of the truck though. I went for groceries the other day, not realizing that the back of the truck was like full of stuff still. And I'm like, no. but it was full of like, I'm going to trim that down because otherwise this is going to be too crooked. So we're just going to shave off this top edge here. Anyway, yeah, it's full of like ski gear and a stroller and all of that. So that's not going to work for carrying racks and suitcases and all of that tomorrow. So that's one of the things I do have to do tomorrow after. Well, I guess maybe what I'll do is I'll drop the kids off and then I'll go in and do, I have to do my run. Tomorrow's my long run day technically. I gotta actually look up the mileage. I think it might only be 3 miles. Which would be nice if it was that short. I don't know though. I don't know if this is the half marathon program that I'm using from Run Disney right now, which uses the Jeff Galloway method of like run, walk, and everything. I feel like, well, if it's comparable to the dopey stuff, then, oh, I see what I can do. I'm going to move this back a little bit more so you're not focused quite so much on like the laptop and you're able to see the actual like work a bit better. There we go. This tripod spreads out really far. Holy. Okay. Anyway, now if I can get into work, that would be amazing. All right, sorry. Small, just a minor earthquake, seemingly. Anyway, yeah, so I'm on the Jeff Galloway program. Basically, it's just a run, walk, cycle. His main thing being, it seems like, that he doesn't like you walking more than 30 seconds. Because then apparently that's when you start to build up the lactic acid in your muscles. I think that's the theory behind it. I don't know, it worked for the marathon. I am not currently doing 30-second walk cycles because doing that on the treadmill is horrendous. No, it's just a no for me. So yeah, going up and down, like, it's because it takes like 4 or 5 seconds for the treadmill to actually respond to the speed change, to be like up and down into that. So if I was running like a 1 minute and a 30-second, it doesn't work. So what I'm basically doing right now is I'm following the distance, and I'm doing basically 1-1 intervals right now. So like 1 minute of work, 1 minute of walking. And then when it starts to warm up outside and like my summer running, I'll be doing the 30-30 or 1 and 30 or something intervals, because it did work for me at the marathon when we were down at Disney. So, and that's perfect. That's what I need. I want that, Alice. So I need to flip this way. Okay. But anyway, why I bring up the length is because when I was doing the marathon training, for the first little bit, for the majority of it, every other week was a mileage increase, and so this week would typically be a week with lower mileage. So I'm gotta go check to see if that's still the case. I doubt it is. I think the half marathon trainer is actually a little bit more intense than the marathon trainer, or at least the Dopey Challenge one. But I guess I'll find out tomorrow. I got my blood work back. A couple things I need to talk to my doctor with, but my A1C is down to the target area that she wanted to see, so that's super exciting. We've been working on that for a while. So I'm also excited to see kind of what happens now that like the weight is finally like actually starting to come off, and that payoff as well. So I'm going to turn that up just a tick more. There we go. kids were extremely tired tonight, so it went down really, really easy. But then I had a really, really hard time motivating myself to do my yoga. And I knew if I didn't do my yoga before I came downstairs, it wasn't happening today. So I'm trying to be good and get all my stuff in as I'm supposed to. So that's why I'm a little bit later. And then it took longer to set up because, like I said, Streamlabs was like refusing to start on the laptop, and it was just like, oh my goodness. So obviously we did get there eventually, but not without some trouble. And yes, I do have a band-aid on my thumb, not because of an injury from work technically, but from a winter injury, because it is friggin' dry in Alberta in the wintertime, and my hands are once again losing the battle with winter. So yay. Okay, there's a couple warbles in the fabric there, so we're going to turn this one out as well, because I just know right away that that is not going to be good to work with when I go to sew it. So hopefully that's better. Wait. Did I pin the wrong pockets into the... I did. Okay. So the batik pockets that are supposed to be in the cosmetic cat's bag are actually in the Alice bag. And after I made a big deal of the like drawstring matching and all of that. So now we got to repin or reclip 2 bags. Excellent. Okay. Apparently I should have stuck with my plan of having that coffee with dinner, because my brain is tired right now. Okay. Teak. Black handle can stay in there. So the lining was not matching the batik. This lining belongs with the Alice bag. I should have been taken a clue with the beige versus the white, because usually I wouldn't put a white lining in a black, like that black a bag. Alright, it can stay there while I fix this one. Oh, maybe it'll fit better in this one. That would be good too. Actually, this could use a trim down across the top too, because I did notice that one has clipping stuff in. So let's do a trim down. This one is too high on this side, and this one is just too high all the way across. So if we just do a nice clip at the top, everything will just be far nicer to sew in, because I won't have 2 levels of fabric. Yes, my eldest, they were definitely keeping themselves entertained, but they turned their younger sibling into a tiger today by drawing on them with markers, which, not so bad, you can clean it off, although the black is stuck on their arms, so they're definitely going to school with like black striping on their arms tomorrow. I was going to take a face cloth to them, but they were so miserable tonight. I'm like, let's just get you to bed. And realistically, marker is not the worst thing to have on your arms, so whatever. The worst part of that one is that they got green all over the younger's face, and so the younger's face is just like got like a giant splotch of like green here, like a mustache. I'm like, if you're making them a tiger, why are you drawing on their face with green? That's all I could think of. We got like a chin strap thing going on underneath her. Oh well. None of us had a patient. Well, they might have had patients for a bath, but I don't think so, because the eldest was like, I want to go upstairs and do dinosaur yoga. So that's what we did instead. And the youngest kind of farted around, and literally and figuratively. And then it was bedtime. Well, I'm glad I didn't get this to the stage of like sewing these together, because if I'd sewn these together, that was how they were going to stay. I'm glad I just got to the clipping stage. Annoying to have to do two, or do them two over again, but you know. At least they'll match properly now. And yes, this is one of the places where clips are extremely helpful versus like pins and stuff like that. Find that they keep it together better typically and stuff. So, all right, we're gonna try and do this with the exterior to the outside of this one. So how many do we have? We've only got one done so far. No. This technically counts as the fourth bag, right? Even though I'm redoing one. Good Lord. Okay. I do like to keep these, the edges of the drawstring clipped down, because I have sewn them together and they've been like lifted, and then you have to go back in and fix that too. So by like clipping them down right at their edge, or as close, like decently close, it's less likely to push them up. The pattern does call for you to baste this all together. I do not do that. That is not a fault of the design. That is a fault of the sewist. So, although something to be aware of when you're actually basting it down too. Would it make this a little bit easier? I don't. Maybe in some aspects, and then not in others. So basting, for anyone who doesn't know, is basically like sewing everything together with a really large stitch, typically, before you sew it together with your like construction stitch. So it does help hold everything together. I do it for the actual, that's what I'm doing when I do the first line of stitching on the drawstring before it goes into the bag. That is a basting stitch, and that is extremely helpful, because now these are all held together, and I don't have to worry about like making sure that this is held together while I'm clipping it onto the bag. But basting this to the bag, I'll save the time. And I've very rarely had the drawstring channels not get caught when I'm sewing them with the Kato, because the seam allowance is so generous. So we ended up with an accidental HelloFresh box last week. I have since canceled my subscription, but like I kind of kept it going, and I would just go in and like skip the weeks anyway, so it was essentially canceled. But I would miss them once in a while, and last week was one of the ones I missed. Gotta say, their portion sizes have been massive, and I don't think that's just because we're in calorie deficit. Like the 4-person meal boxes have been feeding us for like 2 full days for 2 kids and 2 adults, and well, 2 full meals, I guess. So Bravo, HelloFresh. And for being an accidental box, we got some like killer recipes this week that I really enjoyed. So tonight's was like a creamy chicken chowder. So like it was basically potatoes and chicken chowder, and it was delicious. I had you make croutons from like ciabatta, and you put pepper, oil, and garlic salt on them, and then kind of toss them and bake them in the oven until they're golden, and then put cheese on them, and then those went on top of the soup. Amazing. So good. 10 out of 10. I will be doing that again at some point. Actually, that would be really good. I make a really good cauliflower soup, which is actually a hack of a broccoli soup recipe, and it's good with broccoli or cauliflower, just depending on like whatever's cheapest at the time, or like whatever you have in your freezer for veggies. I do like making it actually with frozen veggies, because then I don't like, they're cheaper, and I don't have to worry about them rotting in the back of my fridge. Okay, let's do this again. Right, so tomorrow night is a coffee with dinner night. So we can see how many of these we get done. The other trick you could use here actually is you could quarter the bag basically. So fold it in half, and then fold the exterior in half, and line up all those pieces. Obviously, again, that is not something I'm doing. But that is typically how you do a drop-in lining, is you'll like fold this in half, and this would be the quarter point, and you mark that on the interior and exterior, and then you make sure that they match as you sew it together as well. That's what I do when I clip those seams together, is I make sure that they're nesting, but it's also a way to make sure that everything is mostly lining up at least. Although these linings do fit their respective bags better, so that's good. It would be like, it's like I cut them for the specific bags in mind or something, like, you know, like I kind of know what I'm doing some days. Okay. Apparently the work in progress bin is just stuck on my chair now. Because, you know, that is the way that tonight is going. Okay, and where did your lining go? Okay, so we want to make sure that we get Royal Cat and the Black Cat on dark teal done. Oh, you're not trimmed yet. Okay. But hey, we did get all the brands done last night, and all the logos, they've all been cut. So now they're just waiting to be sewn on. I just realized. Glue. Oh, crap. Okay. I think I was running out of glue the last time I put. Okay, well, that's at least easy to fix. I can pick that up at Michael's on the way, like, in the city tomorrow. But I gotta double check my glue before I go into the city then. I'm like looking over at it. It's on the shelf over here, and I'm like trying to see how much is in it. But it's a clear glue, so I don't know how I would be able to see it across the room with no lights on it to indicate its level. My vision is good with my glasses, but it's not that good. hoping that it would like telepathically tell me so I don't have to get up and like walk over and look at it. That is better for me, but it'd be nice to not have to make a guessing game from across the room. Okay. Royal cat, royal cat. You here. Go. And so basically what I'm doing is I'm putting the halfway mark on the actual side seam and then measuring out from there. Then we clip in on this side. Clip in on the other side. This is why these straps are cut at an angle, is so that they lay flat when you sew them in like this. Okay. And we need the drawstring channels. And yes, I do have black thread in my machine right now. No, we are not going to finish those pockets for housekeeping cats. Simply because I don't think we're going to get through what we already have, like, at this stage. So housekeeping cats will wait one more round. But I had an, like, ready to ship order. But I misplaced 2 parts of it. I'm like, I'd found them, went to ship it, forgot to ship it, and then, yeah, I can't find the parts pieces again. So I had to go through and reconstruct them, but that involved black thread. That's part of what took some time this afternoon, is I want to get them out in the mail tomorrow. Or with UPS. UPS has been like way cheaper, like $5 to $6 cheaper in general for parcel services, which is like absolutely insane to me. I do want to know where they're cutting those costs, because it's like, if it's from the drivers, that sucks, and I am sorry. If that is the case, please let me know. Not that Canada Post I think is much better, but these are also, by the way, not like Canada to the US or Canada to international, but Canada to Canada shipments, by the way. So, because usually Canada Post is the most economical option. So I don't know what the shift has been recently. But that's been pretty consistent for the past like 3 to 4 months too. Now, obviously, UPS does not service all areas, blah, blah, blah. All that, too. It's also a little bit more of a pain in the butt to drop off in Cochrane. So, part of why I wanted to get stuff shipped today to get out tomorrow, though, is because I'm going into Calgary. So, that always saves a little bit of transit time as well. Means if I have any package overages, I'm pretty sure I don't get, like... I've already done that step for them, so it doesn't get charged to me as often. Well, at the same time, it probably also means that if it's cheaper to ship from Calgary than Cochrane, I'm not saving myself any money, but whatever. Definitely saving some transit time. I've had stuff sit in Cochrane for like a week at, like, I don't know how. But I dropped it off in one of the drop bins, and it like sat there for a week before it got scanned out of the bin. And not like it was already towards its destination. No, its scan out in Cochrane was a week later. And yeah. So like it saves a day by itself. Just ship. Sorry, I think there's kiddos on the move. One moment. awake, or are you just rolling over and being... Okay, I think that was just a rollover and like... Okay, that might be a finish to the night already. Or it might just need to be a resettle. I can't tell yet. No, I need to put the... This needs everything on it. I got distracted, obviously. Nope. Alright, that is a... We are going to head out cry, and the postal service is completely whack. Parcel services in general. Okay, sorry, I do have to head out. Hopefully I can come back on. If not, I'll be back on tomorrow to do all of this work. So I'll chat with you all soon.